Well, I believe I've seen about everything when I see that flying elephant back on the big screen. Yep, another Disney remake, and this time it's Dumbo. We got the elephant, we got various human characters, we got various animal characters. You know what we don't got? The crows, sadly. But that's only because they wouldn't factor into the story too much this time, because this time none of the animals, certainly not the elephants, talk. But even though they had to make that sacrifice, the producers of this one, that is, honestly, I think they and Tim Burton kind of held true to the spirit of the original film. I mean, yeah, you should really see the original first, and then see this one, because one enriches the other, and the other enriches the one. Yeah. Bottom line, this is a pretty good remake. It respects the original material, and it even plays through the first movie in the first half or so, and then it goes into a different story where a big soulless company tries to take over the little guy, and the little guy has to fight back. Honestly, I think both stories held up. The original was emotional, the new story was action packed, and it all came together in a pretty neat little package. Now let's talk about the cast. DeVito has not lost his touch. He's still fun to watch, although he's more cantankerous than he used to be. That's a good thing. Colin Farrell, he plays a war vet, and he has a disability. And his arc is he works through it and reconnects with his kids, and he's a better man for it. Eva Green plays a villain turned, well, yeah, I guess I can spoil that. A villain turned hero. She has this evil countenance, and when you first see her, because she's aligned with the bad guy. But over the course of the film, her story arc goes from that of a villain to that of a hero, and she almost seems to soften, like physically. It's very noticeable when you look at her. And I thought Eva Green's performance really worked in that sense. The two kids work really well off each other and their dad. The boy, he's more of a sidekick to his sister, who, thanks to personal tragedy and a love of science and wanting to be better known for her mind than anything else, comes off as a little wooden, but considering her backstory, I think the actress did a pretty good job portraying someone who went through some stuff and is clamped down on their emotions in order to cope. Both kids did a pretty good job. Michael Keaton, once again, plays a bad guy, and he nails it again. You can just tell there's something sinister about him, even though he's presenting himself as a kindly fellow showman to DeVito. You can just tell he is a bad guy. And Michael Keaton just does not disappoint. It seems to me that Joe Gatt, the bald guy, is being cast as, or typecast as what do you call it? A henchman. But honestly, He's made the archetype of the henchman his own. Whenever he's on screen, you can just tell he's ready to explode. Frankly, I want to see him as more of a head honcho rather than a background character from now on, because honestly, he's a cool guy. The rest of the cast, they did great. The evil minor henchmen of the bad guy were maybe not so evil. They were just doing their job. They provided a bit of comedy relief at the end. The small circus performers, or the performers from the small circus, they each had their own personalities and were multi-layered, and they really sold the whole little guy gets clamped down by the big bad. And then, of course, there are the effects. These elephants looked so real. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's been a long time since large animals have been used in movies such as this, due to animal rights. And this film touches on the whole concept of animal rights. But what I was looking at could easily be mistaken for a real creature. I mean, I couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't. And each of the animals, both real and CG, had a good bit of personality too. They really made you feel for them. Dumbo himself, his eyes were maybe a little too cartoony, but for the most part, I think his portrayal in live action was fairly organic. And overall, while I do recommend seeing the original first for context, seeing this one afterward, and really seeing all of the Disney remakes for context with their originals, makes for a more enriching viewership, I think. This is Mr. J signing out and reminding you the crows were just crows. Get over it. Please.